to come over. I wish that you would come and give me something to prove. Won't you pull me closer? I think that I'm obsessed with everything that you do. I'm waiting, trying to be patient. You look like a painting. It's so frustrating. I hate it, yeah. I probably shouldn't say this. I probably should erase it. I probably shouldn't say this. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, call me a fan. I'm living, give me your hand. I'm in it, yeah. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do. We've been making magic, and sometimes I get nervous, but too good to believe. I don't know how it happened, but baby, I'm ecstatic that you're sticking with me. I'm waiting, trying to be patient. You look like a painting. It's so frustrating. I hate it, yeah. I probably shouldn't say this. I probably should erase it. I probably shouldn't say this. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, call me a fan. I'm living, give me your hand. I'm in it, yeah. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another stream. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Nice to see you all. Hope you're doing good. Hope you all had a wonderful day. Let me just bring the music up here. Where is my Spotify? Ah, there. All right. Perfect. Hello, hello. Damn, so many here. Even though I announced the stream pretty lately, like I think like 2 hours ago, so many of you here. Crazy. So, as you maybe have saw on the title or thumbnail, we're going to talk about the newest update. Well, it's not yet like a real like a user update. It's like more like a pioneer testing thing. But it is a change which have a big impact on the game, in my opinion. We're gonna have a look on TKC as well, the King Codex, and we also gonna start now a poll about this. Let me. What do you think about the war frenzy limitation of 16 hours in a 24-hour period? Does that make sense? Nah. I mean, you don't have a usual 24-hour period, right? You don't have like one day, and from that you can also. We're gonna talk about that. It's a good change. Will help, and it's a good change against pilots. It's a start, but then needs to be alright. Let's put in the chat asking for your opinion about this newest announcement. If you have no clue at all what is going on, so let me bring you up what the community is currently talking about, what is currently a hot topic. Where the heck is it? Where the heck is the mail? Huh? Blind? Here. Okay, so this is basically the main part of the mail. So it's saying if your character's total war frenzy time reaches 16 hours, your character will enter rest mode for 8 hours. While in rest mode, you won't be able to activate war frenzy. In other words, you won't be able to attack, scout, or initiate rallies against other governors, troops, or buildings. In addition, you will not be able to use the attack march command, and your troops in range mode will not automatically attack. You will, however, still be able to attack barbarians, gather resources, and join rallies. Okay, so this came out today, right? This came out today, and there's a huge blow up in the community. Like there's a lot of different opinions, like and we're gonna address that all. So the thing is, what we all know, right, in the game is the pilot problem. That's a big thing, which is not only destroying KVKs, but also the gaming experience from those who are not using pilots, right? Especially in the higher competitive kingdoms in KVKs, is that a huge issue. It's basically just coming down to whoever paying more pilots will be able to win. Because you can literally run 24/7 an account where a person spends like thousands per month just in resource and speed ups, right? And in those huge KVKs, you have people with dozens of speed ups and resources, right? So when it comes to fighting, you have basically no downtime anymore in those kingdoms because you have pilots running the accounts, right? You don't have an additional downtime and uptime like it used to be, right? It really came down more to who just pays more pilots. And the disgusting thing here is that leadership in those kingdoms telling the people you're either giving someone access to your account or you need to migrate out. And that is a huge red flag, a huge big thing which you need to be aware of. If leadership telling you what to do with your account in a way of you either need to do it or you're migrating out. That is threatening, by the way, right there. That's emotional threatening. Just saying. Let's say you have people which you make friends and they gonna stay in that kingdom. And now you're the one who getting told that, right? Because you're the only one who's not using a pilot. And now they're using an emotional threatening on you to either get a pilot or you getting kicked out. That is emotional abuse, by the way, right there. Just one thing, right, about that whole thing. The other thing is that the leadership have nothing to tell you about your account, your money spending, or your time spending. The only thing what leadership can do is giving you advice and what requirements they have for a person to stay in the kingdom, right? Because, I mean, at the end, they need to run the kingdom, right? But they cannot go initially and tell people what to do with their account. And especially not telling them when it comes to spending money, right? People can tell, hey, we need you to focus on rallies and garrison. Can you do that? Something like that you can do as a leadership. But you cannot step over the line and saying you're either doing that or you getting kicked out, right? There's a lot of wrong stuff going on with that whole piloting thing, right? And Lilith knows that. And so this is the first thing what they implemented in order to go against this, which makes sense. I think I think the way it reads, it's basically saying you have your war frenzy, right? Whenever you tag someone, you have war frenzy for 15 minutes. So how it reads to me and how it reads to others based on the feedback and on opinion sharing what I saw and received is whenever your war frenzy time, not when you attack someone. Whenever you attack someone, you get war frenzy, and when this war frenzy time reaches 16 hours, your character will not be able to actively participate anymore. You can still join rallies, but you cannot actively participate on the field. And you will enter rest mode for 8 hours. Now here's the thing, right? Here we're coming towards a community poll, for example, from TKC. Let me bring that up. Let me bring that up for you. There you go. Let's make the window a little bit smaller so it's fitting also into the screen. Alright. So, if you go to TKC, by the way, if you don't know TKC or the King's Codex is a Discord server with over 15,000 members. And you get dozens of information here for free available. By the way, it's crazy. You just need to be on the Discord, and that's it. You can still, you can support them by sending them a donation and stuff like that. That's possible, but basically, you don't need to spend anything to have access to a huge amount of information. Why do I tell that to you? Well, I will use TKC more into the future because I am officially partnered with them. So, if anyone wondering. I think it's a really good Discord, and I saw that here server partners when you can just message one of the admins and you can become a partner. Basically what I get is access to the TKC media and stuff like that. But either way, I also said it before, right? This Discord is a really, really good thing. You're getting a lot of information here. And what we're also doing is community polls. I just need to fucking find it here. There you go. So we talked about that on our stream, right? We talked about how many hours do you spend fighting per day in a KVK on average. That was a poll we also talked about on the stream. And I ended up saying 12 to 16 hours on average for myself, right? As you can see, there is just a few people here who have voted, right? More than 16 hours on average. 16 hours or more. It's 20% of the people who voted here, right? You can see a majority of those people are something between 4 to 12 hours because it makes sense, right? The majority of the people have a life, they have a job, they have a family, right? I don't have the free time like myself, for example, right now. I'm unemployed because of my health situation, right? So that means I have right now more time going on. I also don't have a family. I don't have kids, which I need to take care of. So that means on weekend, for example, I can play up to 20 hours. It's for me a special situation right now, which I'm in, which gives me the possibility to fight as long, as I want, basically. However, I still think this recent change is a good thing in the way of, first of all, they, when do you really fighting 16 hours more as a normal person, right? When do you really do that? Yo, hi, welcome team. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. When do you, as a average person, right, which is having a family, which is having a job, you have to take care of things. So when do you really coming up towards the 16-hour mark is sit, right? When is that really happening? And the thing is also, I'm pretty sure I have read it somewhere, that whenever in 24 hours, when you're not using the 16 hours of War Frenzy time, let's say you're using 10 hours of that on the day, and when in itself the 24-hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 hour time is over, right? When in itself the 24 then the War Frenzy time is being resetted. I think I have read it in a mail like that. I would need to pull up the whole mail. I don't know. Somewhere it was. Somewhere the mail got posted on TKC. I don't remember where it was. Was here new updates? Probably here. I would love to have the. Does someone have the mail available right now? Ah, shit. If I would have just. By the way, coming back to the polls for now, so we can move on. So Russ have sending out 2 polls saying, how many hours do pilots spend fighting on your account on average? If you a pilot, how many hours do you spend on a singular account per day on average? So we can see most of the people have like basically no pilots, right? I voted 0 to 4 because I have 0 hours of pilots being on my account, right? I can really see the majority of people is not having more than 4 hours. Well, I don't know, it would have been better if there was another one saying I don't use pilots at all. Because it's hard to see the difference between 0, 1, 2, and 3, right? There should have been a difference between 0 time and like 1 to 4 hours, in my opinion. Because it's hard to see the difference between from the 500 people here who voted, which is having 0% of a pilot being on their account and who is having like 2 or 3, right? And then there was another one, the overall feeling of that new change, right? And as we can see, what the heck is this, by the way, here? As we can see, most of the people are fine with that, right? And most of the people have no pilots either way. True, I can check on my main account, my other account. Yeah, I can do that. So majority of the people don't care really about pilots or they're good with the update or whatever, right? You know. And I think that's the case. That's why Lilith did it the way they did it, because they know they have the data. They know the average person is not fighting 16 hours a day. It's not the case. It's not the average, right? So that's why they probably came up with it. It's also giving you 8 hours of rest time, which is meaning they going towards giving you a time where you can sleep and do other things, right? Well, you know, you currently can't fight, so you whether just spend the time and have a healthy sleep or taking care of other things, right? Because you know you did the maximum what you could do, and you know it is the case for everyone now. Now it's not anymore the thing of, oh shit, I cannot fight anymore, but other people can because they have pilots, right? You see what I try to say? Like, they're giving you a reason now to have a healthy sleep, to take care of that, take care of other things, while you know you did the maximum of the 16 hours. And you also know that also the pilots from a specific account cannot do more than 16 hours a day anymore. So that means that anyone who could fight 16 hours a day is now even with the pilots. Think about that, guys. I think in that way, it's a good change, right? You getting, first of all, up and down times again, right? Which I think is very, very enjoyable to watch, rather than just having 24/7 fighting going on and to ever have more numbers. Sure, it is enjoyable to watch these fights, but I think, isn't it more enjoyable to see the back and forth from an up and down time? Think about that, guys. In my opinion, I think it's a better case. I think it's a better case when you have these up and down times going on, and you see the differences and the changes on the map over the days. Let's go back. I'm pretty sure I need to check my other account. I'm pretty sure they said within 24 hours, if you don't have used 16 hours of that for War Frenzy, then it's getting reset. I'm not sure. Let's check. Let's check. I might be wrong on that part, but before I continue, let's see. I hope I have it now. A shitload of nades. Okay. So, for Lost Kingdom participating in the test, the game will track how long your current character has been in War Frenzy over the past 24 hours. Okay. If you do not activate War Frenzy for 8 hours straight, your total War Frenzy time from the last 24 hours will be clear. See, that's what I mean. Think about that, guys. So, let's say you're fighting 8 hours, right? Then you go to work. After 9 hours, you're coming home. Then you can fight again for 5 hours. Then you go to sleep for 6 hours. Then you can fight again for 8 hours. Then you go to work for 9 hours. You see what I mean? You will basically never run on that 16-hour cooldown, 8-hour cooldown, because you're not hitting the 16 hours. If you have a normal sleep work schedule, right, where you're still having a couple of hours time in between for the fighting, you will never hit the 16 hours total of that War Frenzy, right? And I think a lot of people just overreacting right now a little bit. I also misunderstood it in the first case. I thought the meaning whenever you hit someone, the 16 hours starting. I misunderstood that. But now, since I sort of the people's opinion and what they think and how they see that, and I also multiple times read it again, it is not saying whenever you start fighting the 16 hours are starting. That's not the case, right? And it's, I mean, I think a lot of people forgetting about this part here, which is crucial. Who is really affected by this? Yo, back, how you doing? Welcome, team. I will go to go shining mid-war then. Yeah, basically, right? But like, who is truly affected by this, right? The pilots obviously are. The whale/Kraken accounts who paying pilots who play on their account. By the way, if you're a whale or Kraken and you're not playing the game by yourself, for what are you even having an account? Just saying. For what do you have an account and spend thousands in a month on a game which you don't play by yourself? For what? Why are you doing that? I mean, I wouldn't do that. Like, if I spent on something, then I want to play it by myself. If I pay for a new game, then I want to play that game by myself. I don't want to have someone playing it for me, but I pay the $60 for it. It makes no fucking sense. Think about that, guys. How does that make sense? That makes zero fucking sense at all, right? So those people are affected by that because now, instead of 24 hours all the time, you can only fight 16 hours straight up. And 16 hours straight up is definitely better than 24 hours all the time. Because more people are able to reach the 16 hours in a day than 24 hours, right? Obviously. I don't know. So let's see. What is the chat saying? They can only suggest not bandit or anything. Finish my level for Eternal Night. Ooh, congrats. Tyku, congrats. It's more exciting. We can just rely whose kingdom resources would be depleted first, not overwhelmed with pilots. Yeah, right? That's the thing. Like now it's really coming. If this thing really coming into the game for everyone, now it coming down again more towards how your people can handle that downtime. Crazy. You need to handle the downtime what it used to be in Rise of Kingdoms. Oh no. Damn. Crazy. Right? It should be the case anyway, in my opinion. Like, bro, you cannot fight 24/7. Like, what the heck is this? It's fucking boring at some point. 24/7 ongoing war with no changes on territory. I mean, sure, it's fun to get key points and, you know, fight and stuff like that, but to get the motivation, you also want to keep on going in destroying territory and advancing and seeing that you're stronger, right? And when you have a downtime and when you need to progress and when you need to hold the garrison and being able to maintain until your uptime coming again, right? This is what I think is should be the case. It was the case in Rise of Kingdoms until that changed over the years and more piloting came a thing, which also is a problem from a leadership, in my opinion. That leadership pushed it more and more toward you need to have a pilot, otherwise you're getting kicked out. Like, guys, I think no one really addressed it the way I did. Did anyone ever said that leadership is literally doing an emotional abuse on you for telling you to either get a pilot or you're getting zeroed and forced to migrate out? Think about that. Did anyone ever told you that? That it's a fucking emotional abuse? But think about it. It is an emotional abuse. It is an emotional threatening. How is that okay? How is that okay for anyone? If my leadership would came up to me and tell me that, I would literally migrate the second out of that KVK. I don't want to have anything anymore to do with that kingdom. Well, with these people, moreover, not with the kingdom, with these people. If my leadership came up to me and be like, yeah, you need to do that, I would be like, nah, fuck this shit. I don't let anyone emotion abuse me for telling me if I get a pilot or I get a zero them and force to migrate out. In which world are we living that this is being accepted in the game? In a game which is made to have some fun in your free time, which you can enjoy, which you can have your community to be part of, and you fight together. How is this okay? I don't understand this. Really. I don't understand where the key point was that people start to saying this and everyone be like, yeah, that's reasonable. It's not reasonable. It's not. It's not at all. And you can hate me on that part, but I think if anyone is threatening you towards with the stage of your time, your money spending, or your own account which you own, right? And telling you what to do with that. Not in an advising way where they say, hey, I prefer, or like, I recommend you to do this and this and this instead of what you're doing here. Right? This is a complete different scenario than telling you exactly what to do or something will happen as a punishment. The community died when leadership switched to that kind of narrative. Yeah, exactly. And this is not competitive anymore for me. This is so dedicated towards being, you just want to win and win and win and don't care about anyone's feeling. You know what it sounds like to me? There's a really common thing how this sounds. That you don't care about the feedback at all. You don't care about the feelings from people. You're putting emotional abuse on people. I don't know about you guys, but this doesn't sound like a healthy leadership at all. It doesn't sound like a leader which is going forward in front of the people and directing them. It sounds like a... It sounds in a way like a dictator or like a boss. Right, something like that. But it is not a leader, which I would follow. A leader, and there's a difference, right? A leader is someone people want to follow, but the leader is also going in front of the people and give them the example of what he expects you to follow. While the boss / dictator / everyone who's not a leader is telling you what to do, otherwise there will be punishment, but they just sit on their fucking ass and not doing anything. Right? There was that one beautiful picture between a boss and a leader. Let me... Boss versus leader. Let me see if I can. Yeah, where it is. You can just type it on Google. You're directly finding it. Let me bring that up for you. All right. So if you just type in Google, a boss versus leader meme, this is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. A boss is sitting on his ass and telling people what to do. A leader is telling people what to do, but he follows. He is giving an example. You see the difference? And I think that was the change from the leadership when the leaders, which people wanted to follow, became towards being a boss / dictator and telling you what to do rather than, they care about you. Forcing people to pay money for someone else to play on their account is awful. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. How is this being accepted at all? Despite the positive thing, how is this being accepted at all by the community? Why is no one addressing that this is emotional abuse, literally? People doing that literally in real life. They putting threats on you saying, if you don't send me 50,000 right now on my bank account, I will leak X amount of whatever information we have. This is literally the same thing, just in a different scenario. And no one is saying it. No one is addressing it. And at least I never heard about that. I don't know. Like, it's yeah. It's, I don't know. It's really, really crazy to me what became normal in Rise of Kingdoms, to be honest. Let's see what the poll is. Pro Peter saying, pro people have voted 50% saying it's a good change, you can pat it, and then 25% each saying it's start but not perfect and not good at all. Okay. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm looking forward to see what the future will hold and how this will move on. For me personally, again, guys, I like I said, I love to be 24 hours on the first day online and fight. But the thing is also, I'm not 24 actively fighting, right? You have times where you just refresh, you have times where you're just gathering, you have times where you wait for flags to burn down. I count this as active participating because you're online, right? But you're not in especially in the early kingdoms, in the early KVKs, you don't have 24/7 fighting going on, right? Because people have not the resources, they don't have the speed up for that. Yeah. Exactly, D, you're saying it. In the past, recruiting was to check the attitude of a person playing the game and his values. Now it's all about the account, not the person playing it. Exactly. Right? And that's why I love it here in 327. Here it is not at all the case. No one came ever to me from the leadership and told me what to do with my account. What should I spend money on? That I need a pilot. No one ever. No one ever said that to me. They gave me advices, right? Russ, for example, gave me a lot of advices what I should do in his opinion. But he never said it in a way of I need to do what he's saying. Apple, he's giving me advices, but he's never saying I need to do that, otherwise I getting kicked out. He never said that. And so did no one else from the leadership in this kingdom, right? Ever. And like I said, if anyone would tell me from my leadership is, and the leadership is following that statement, let's say there's one random person saying that, that's the difference between the whole leadership would say that. If the whole leadership agreeing on that statement, I would be the fuck out of this kingdom immediately. immediately. The extreme behaviors being normalized by the super imperiums are killing the game. Yeah, exactly. And I think this is and this is something which needs to be addressed on. I posted earlier on the in-game suggestions. I think I would do a new post about addressing this issue and why the change is actually a positive thing. In my opinion. Like, for example, one of the points what we just discussed about is the leadership normalizing the emotional abuse on you either need to get a pilot or you're getting forced to migrate out. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you don't have a user up and downtime anymore like it used to be. It's just all coming down to whoever have more pilots, which is also, I don't know, like, I prefer having people actively paying their own account rather than a fucking Ray or Kraken who's spending, I don't know, $100 per week for 5 different people playing his account. But the actual person owning this account is not playing at all. I don't know. What annoys me about this is that now the leadership has even more pressure. They need to organize ready girls and leaders, which earned and rest time, etc. It's not annoying, Gameburger. It's not annoying. You know what it is? It is the game what it used to be. Think about that. A couple years back, when I played, I remember pretty good that we had that people talked about up and downtime from kingdoms. What? People used to talk about the up and downtime from kingdoms in a KVK. What? That's crazy. What? People figured out the up and downtime from a kingdom. Now, not at all. No one cares about that because everyone knows you have fucking pilots running the game. Now, it be going back to the if this really coming out with a 16 hours Warframe's the maximum, you know where we're going with that? We're going back to the old design where people had up and down times and they had to figure out stuff. Arranging things when to attack and everything, better KVK. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's a lot of the you know, in like Lilith knows. Lilith have the details. They know how much the average player is spending on a time per day online when fighting is happening. It is not 24 hours, not at all. It's maybe maximum 8 hours. There's a really, really few percentage of people who playing really more than 16 hours a day of fighting. I'm one of the perks because I have the time right now. But even when I would have my work, I could not play 16 hours a day. I could maximum play 8 to 10 hours a day because I have to sleep. I have to work. I don't find the time to play 16 hours in a work day. It's not possible. It was more interactive in the past. Now you just bash heads and whoever spend more resources speed up lose. Yeah, exactly. And I think I wanna address that. I wanna address that and put that out as a in-game suggestion with you all together, guys. I wanna what we just discussed about. I want to write down here for the Discord as well. I remember setting alarm clock to coincide with the push of our kingdom. Yeah, that's crazy. And you know what we also in Core of Dragons, for example, right? You have the stamina system. Sure. Shetsky, for example, said in his post about Core of Dragons that hold on, let me check it up. Where is it? What did he said exactly? I played COD at the beginning. I was one of the first to reach T5 in COD. I liked it, but when fighting started, I was surprised, because my commanders had kept my city on cooldown and I could not fight as much as I wanted, so I quit. Plain and simply. And here's the thing, right? I think the stamina system in COD is designed the way, you know, it's a different design, right? He coming from Rise of Kingdoms, he saw that and he didn't like that. Understandable, because you're coming from a game where you could refresh as much as you want without any consequences. In COD, it's a whole different thing, right? The stamina system is not only preventing piloting, basically, right? Because you cannot fight 24 hours a day. You have, at some point, you're limited because you cannot send out your heroes anymore. So, first of all, we don't have any piloting problems in COD. We have an actual community interaction, because the people which are on the field are also the people who really want it in their account and not some weird ass pilot. And the fighting is also, in my opinion, more enjoyable because, again, we have the up and down time. In my personal opinion, when I used to play Rise of Kingdoms and you had the up and down times, it was really, really enjoyable. Really, really enjoyable. I don't get me wrong, I love the fighting. I love that, you know, with the piloting, you have a 24/7 fighting basically going on. But the thing is, it is, as much as you might enjoy it, it is so negative for the KVKs. It is so negative for the community interaction within the kingdom, because now just random people playing the account, not interacting with the people who are actually playing the account in that kingdom, and rather than, you know, building up a connection, having VC talks, having in-game talks, you know, chit-chatting about what is going on in the fighting, you just not talk to each other at all. You're just saying out your troops back and forth all the time, and that's it. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound fun to me. That doesn't sound fun to me at all. You want to throw zone fast, farming KVK for me, 6 minutes, 7 wounds. I'm currently fighting. Damn, nice. Pilots will continue as usual. The ones who lost are players like me who can play 24 hours straight or even more. You can, as a normal human being, you cannot play more than 1 day of 24 hours straight. At some point, you will need to sleep. And also, like, it's a very, very small percentage which could do that for the first day, maybe second day. But at some point, you will need to sleep. And you know what the thing is also? As much as you enjoy the fighting in the game, it is not healthy at all for you if you play for 48 hours straight up and fight in a game. Yo, Zaika, how are you doing? Welcome. The loophole of this update, you can prepare your war frenzy time earlier and just scout ahead to start the past 24 hours course and still play your 20 hours gameplay. Even when I go to sleep, I only sleep about 4 hours, not 8. I mean, wait, I don't know what you say. Like, sure, when you sleep 4 hours, but it's about the thing that, what about your family? What about your work? What about taking care of things in your life? You cannot tell me that whenever fighting is, that you always will be available for 20 hours a day, not doing anything but fighting and 4 hours of sleeping. You cannot tell me that this is the case for so many people, that there's such a negative thing about that going on right now. I could do that too on the first day, but when I need to sleep, I need to take care of things. Yo, Skeleton, how are you doing? Welcome to stream. You know, like, you cannot tell me that so many people doing that like just the account owner, which that so many people don't like in this update. On a work day, I can play 8 hours a day. If I'd be just playing, more is not possible. Yeah. During fighting days, I take time off from everything. I prepare my food, order, DoorDash, everything is ready for me. Food, drinks, everything. I take day off of work for more important fights. Yeah, sure, I get that. I don't say that those people are not existing, right? It's just a very, very small percentage in this game. Right? It's a very, very small percentage to doing it the way you guys doing it. Right? Most of the people don't have that luxury to, for example, just say, I just want to take off here and that day and that day and that day. Like, for example, here in Europe, on my company, what you do here is you giving the company your off time work for the next year. And you cannot just go ahead and simply just say, "Oh yeah, I want off at that time." You cannot do it here. You have your scheduled plan and on what days you took off work and the company agreed to. And I don't know, like that was for wherever I worked so far. That was the case. I'm from Germany. I usually make around 3 billion K points every KVK, sometimes even more. Right now I might crit. I mean, it's crazy to me, right? You're saying you're playing 20 hours a day. But the thing is, are you actively playing 20 hours a day? Like, I'm talking about 20 hours of active fighting. Not like in between when you have like nothing going on, you wait for rallies, you wait for garrisons, stuff like that. I'm talking about 20 hours a day active open field fighting going on, where you consider now that because of 4 hours of less time of open field fighting, you're gonna quit the game. It just sounds crazy to me because I never, like, sure, in the first day, and here again, the first day I can also do that, easy, but other than the first day, I don't know about that. Are you out also, Zach? Nice. 99.9% of the players aren't fighting even 12 hours a day. Right, and that's what I say. Lilith obviously have the data. They know that the average player is not fighting 16 hours a day. Clicking for non-stop 20 hours a day is diabolical. You probably rest like 15 to 20 minutes at some point. Yeah. I mean, it just sounds crazy to me that for me personally, if people want to do that, you know, that's their opinion, they can do that. For me personally, I just found it crazy that whenever any type of fighting is going on, that every day I would only sleep 4 hours. right? It just sounds crazy to me. You know, guys, I fight, and you saw that in the Zone 6 fighting in KVK 2. I was like streaming for like 20 hours, and then I was offline for like 6 hours or 5 hours or something, and then I went on again, right? In the beginning, I can do that, sure. The thing is also that at some point, you gotta sleep. You gotta take care of other things, right? Like, instead of 24 hours, the key point here is that the normal persons who actively paying their account for 20 hours a day, instead of doing that 20 hours now, is, for example, 16 hours a day. It's still fucking 16 hours, bro. Like, I don't know where you're getting the time for that. It's still fucking 16 hours. It's 4 hours difference of what you usually do. So now, instead of, you know, having to face pilots which are 24/7 online, now you can fight for 16 hours, and then you're having up and down time happening in the kingdom. So you might ending up also just not fighting 16 hours straight up a day. You're actually doing for 24 hours a day, but with not active participating on open feed. You have now more garrison and readies going on, and it's more about up and down time. Der Change ist quasi, dass Lilith War Frenzy einführen will, das sagt, wenn du 16 Stunden innerhalb von 24 Stunden aktive War Frenzy Time erreichst, dass du dann in eine 8 Stunden Rest Period gehst. Und die sagen auch noch, wenn du, sagen wir mal, innerhalb von, sagen wir mal, du campst 8 Stunden, dann campst du für 8 Stunden nicht mehr. Diese 8 Stunden werden dann wieder resettet. So, guys, what I just said on Germany is basically I explained what the change is, plus added to at the end that whenever you would fight not for 8 hours, you don't have War Frenzy for 8 hours. That the beginning 8 hours or 10 hours, whatever it is, would reset. So as long as you're not hitting the 16 hours, you don't get actually forced into the rest period. Let's say you're fighting 6 hours, when you go to work for 9 hours, when you're coming home, you sleep for 5 hours, and then your rest period, it got reset because you didn't fight for 8 hours. I like the change. It won't remove pilot, but it will remove the need to use pilots simply to counter the uptime of enemy pilots. What it also does is that first of all, that I agree with that, Lord Pugh. In reality, this decision will hurt the game itself. The millionaire players to keep it alive will quit, and the game will lose millions. I don't think so, Dorix. I think you underestimate the amount of low to mid spenders, what people spending. And at the end, like literally, people quit because of the piloting. More players quit because of the piloting. And a game is made from the community, how active the game is being played. If the game is not being played, if the game is not being actively growing and not getting new players, then you're also not gonna grow, and you're also not gonna make money. Like, you need to find the middle way of this, so. I mean, you can see it in COD. In COD, it's working. Like, you have a stamina system which is limiting people's fighting, and no one is complaining. Also, sorry, I think I forgot to answer the question earlier. There was a question how long I can fight in COD. In COD, with that stamina system, I literally can easily fight up to 8 to 10 hours easily. Like, for example, I have 260 stamina. I have 260 stamina, right? One time stamina used if I normally fight without, if I have normal micro, normal fighting, stuff like that. Normal, just normal. One 5 match setup for me is lasting around 20 minutes, right? Now, if we calculating that, 20 minutes on average costs me 10 stamina. So that means in 60 minutes I would use 3 times, which is 10, but I get within one. Hold on. There you go. All right. So in COD you have 260 stamina, right? 260, 250. Let's say 250. I think 250. Let's say on average I use 30 stamina within 1 hour of active fighting, right? So let's say we calculate that by the amount of hours, so divided by 30 per hour. So that means this is 8.3 period hours I can play in COD with 5 matching, just 5 matching. I don't count in other heroes. I don't count in other tube types. This is just what you see there, the 8 hours. It's just my 5 matching setup of one tube type with 5 different matches. One setup. 8 hours. Now, this not counting in you getting 13 stamina per hour back. So, it's saying, 30 stamina per hour is being used. Now, actually, it is not 30 because you're getting stamina back within an hour. So, instead of 30, you're using 17 stamina per hour because you're getting 13 back per hour, right? So, now we're calculating that. Sorry, 250 divided by 17 per hour. Now it almost doubled the amount of hours. You see this? In a stamina based game, one setup of 5 marching gives me on an average, if I use the march 3 times in an hour, because I use the march, for example, for like 20 minutes with back and forth fighting, positioning, not attacking, regathering, all of that kind of stuff, right? If you're talking about normal back and forth fighting with all of that side positioning and regathering and all of that shit, I would end up using, for example, 3 times a match in an hour, right? Let's say I use it 5 times per hour. Let's say 6, 10 minutes. Let's say 6, right? So 60. So that is then 60 stamina per hour minus 17 is 37, right? So let's say 250 divided by 37. So I use my march 6 times in an hour, equivalent to 10 minutes playtime per 5 march in COD, in Core of Dragons. It still brings me 6.75 hours of playtime with just this one 5 marching setup. Not counting in the other heroes, the other tube types, which I could play. Just saying, guys. And you also, what the thing is, because of the stamina system and because of the less resource spending, have actual up and down time. So that means I'm not gonna straight up fight for 24 hours a day, actual open field fighting in COD. That's not the case. You have up and down times. You have no pilots because of the stamina system. So it's a very healthy situation where people then, it's themselves fighting. It feels natural. It doesn't feel like it's like fucking 100 people piloting accounts. You know what I mean? Yo, Shion, how you doing? Welcome, Steam. Yo, Marco. Hey, mir geht's gut, wie geht's dir? Stamina is different than AP. Yeah. Stamina is a system for on your heroes. We still have AP in the game. It's CP, command points, which is in Warg action points. That is being used for barbarians, for the fortresses, stuff like that. The stamina is basically the war frenzy limitation, if you want to say so. Right. So this is just an example, right? And the stamina system is way more limited than the war frenzy limitation, which they want to implement in Warg. It is way fucking more. Because whenever, for example, you fuck up your march, it costs you 10 stamina. In Warg, if you fuck up your march in this 16-hour war frenzy time, guess what? You can just refresh. You can just refresh. It doesn't cost you anything. In Cold Rings, if you AFK march, if you have a disconnect, if you have anything going on with your march, the 10 stamina which you invested are gone. You need to wait almost an entire hour to get these 10 stamina back. You know, I think being able to fight 16 hours straight up in a day is fucking luxury, you know? And then ending up with like with a up and down time is even better in my opinion for KVKs. While I know from Voice of Kingdoms, from Core of Rings, you don't have that. You need to play around with your stamina and to make sure that you're not wasting it, you know? People didn't quit because of pilots. In good games, you can easily get a pilot for free. They quit because they simply don't have the money to keep spending. This game requires constant financial. Wait, and guess what? The 16 hours of limitation on fighting were also meaning that you will need less resources and speed ups. So city hopping doesn't exist. No, it does. It does. You can city hop in COD. The thing is, you cannot just city hop from your own city, because whenever you jump out of your city, attack someone, and go back to your city, it requires to use again 10 stamina. You can jump from your ally city back and forth the whole time. That doesn't require you stamina. But whenever you march out of your own city and attack someone or getting attacked, that costs you 10 stamina. I get your point, Dorix. I agree also with that on some kind. It is very, very expensive to keep up in Rise of Kingdoms, which is another point why this limitation would be a good thing, because that means that you're ending up with up and down times, and it also means that you don't need pilots for your account, and you also don't need anymore as much resources and speed ups anymore. You know? I say we will add something to extend the stamina war frenzy. I don't know, maybe. Maybe they will, maybe they don't, but we will see. It's at the end, it's just pioneer testing, right? It's pioneer testing, and how many times did they pioneer test something and then they change something, you know? So with up and down times, you can also do less KP. Of course. I mean, why do you think I was so surprised when I saw the amount of KP people had? Because I remembered you had up and down times. For me, the highest what I saw someone could get in the KVK, for example, was like 10 billion resources spent. They got like 5 billion K points or something. Like 4 years ago, when you had up and down times. That was the normal case for me. When I came back to Rise of Kingdoms earlier this year, and I saw people telling me that it is normal now if you're spending 50 billion in resources in 1 KVK, I'm like, where did the fuck we landed? That within 3 years, the average spending from like 10 billion resources got up to 50 billion resources. What the heck? Where the heck did we land it? You know, and then it makes sense that people quit, because that is fucking expensive to keep up this way. Of course, people quit then because of this, right? And another point is the piloting, which people also don't like. Not everyone, most of the people don't care, but like what people care about is the 24/7 activity then and what it requires with it, which is the spending, the resources, the speed ups, and the leadership, which is doing an emotional abuse on you to get the fucking pilot or you're out. You know, that are just some of the points which making it complicated. I would rather have one main player spending $1 rather than one person spending $1 million. Exactly, D. Exactly. Because you know what it means. In the long term, the 1 million players might start spending instead of $1, $2. You know, it is always better to have more players than no players, but with one player. Like, people don't understand this, right? Whale and Krakens would not play the game if there would be no low spender and free to play in this game. You need to understand this. Whales and Krakens would fucking ignore the game if they cannot make kill point because of their spending. If they cannot kill people and feel advantage over other people with their money spending, and they see that there's basically no fucking other people anymore on the field which they can kill, then they're gonna quit the game. Like, think about that, guys. You cannot say that you want to keep a player which is spending, let's say, 1 million a year, rather than 1 million players active playing per year, which is spending like on average, let's say, $5. It just makes no sense, right? Because not only are you financially hitting yourself more, but also what happens is that the game gonna die, which you have invested so much into. You know? It's like every other business. You want the business to grow. You don't want the business to die. Right? I don't know. Like, you can see it on so many different businesses, like Nintendo, Xbox. You know, if they doing these money increases and stuff, like how many players start not to fucking buy that anymore. Like, for example, myself, I have a Switch 1, right? And I don't pay for games anymore, basically. I don't have an Xbox, right? The only thing where I buy play games from is Steam, literally. But that's basically it. I have a few games on Ubisoft. I have a few games on Epic Games. Most of them are free. I have like 2 games or something from EA. You know, like I'm not gonna willing to pay fucking $80 for a game, which is with having a graphic design from 2010. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to spend that much money on a game. Anyway, when you see Silksong, for example, getting released for $20, which is an amazing game. You know? Like, Shetsky said he will get 2 accounts into one kingdom so he can play constantly. I mean, I get that some people are out there who can afford that for whatever reason, however they can't afford that. I get that, right? And I understand the frustration behind these kind of people. That for them it sucks. Yes. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what Lilith would have done. Either way, they would have pissed off some people. So what they did, they stick with the average of the player base instead of focusing on the 1% of the players, which is being able to spend 20 hours a day without pilots every day. They just said, okay, now we're gonna go with the average player base, and we're just gonna go ahead and saying 16 hours is a limitation. You know, like, as a company, Lilith needs to find the middle ground, basically. And I think with that change, they found it pretty good, in my opinion. But I can definitely understand the frustration behind the people who really, really actively spend 20 hours a day of fighting. I understand the frustration behind that, but Like, the issue in the long term will be the piloting. And Lilith needs to do something about that. It just makes the matchmaking worse because you're having basically fake stats because you pay people to play your account for 24/7. Whether when you just have your own person playing the game. Yeah. Like 16 hours is still fucking a lot. It's still fucking a lot. It's 2/3 of a day of active fighting. 2/3 of a day. You know? People telling me, like, for me personally, it's a lot of time. Again, I can understand the people saying this, but it's for me, it's a lot of time. Still, it's 2/3 of a day, you know? It's very controversial. I can understand both sides, but my personal opinion, sticking towards the change is necessary against the pilots. That's definitely the case. So.
Sondermeldung vom 9. November 1989. Wir schalten live nach Berlin, wo ein Mann nahe der ost-westdeutschen Grenze in einer blinkenden Lederjacke gesichtet wurde.
Oh, you just make it from 3545, Marco? Where did you rent? Oh, to 3308. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's pretty sad what happened to 3535. Losing one kingdom at 1 KVK and boom, gone. But I heard they already had a lot of dead weight before and stuff like that, so. Imagine you walking for 3 to 5 minutes and fighting open field for 3 to 5 minutes and sad facing for 1 to 2 minutes. That's already 7 to 12 minutes. So in an hour time frame, you can play the commanders like 3 to 4 times. Are you talking about Call of Dragons? Yeah, well. Yeah, exactly. Like the walking time, the sad phases, you're going home and stuff like that. Wait, that's what I mean. Like you like people see the stamina system, be like, oh shit, I cannot play fucking 16 hours. I can easily. I can. You just need to see how. Yo, Dormat, how are you doing? Welcome to stream. It's not like 16 hours of being online. Almost no one will field for 16 hours straight without a break here and there. If you just have a break every few hours where you just feel you can play more. Yeah, exactly. People reacting like they play 16 hours a day, 4 times each day. I mean, again, I can understand people taking off time and stuff like that, but it's still 16 hours a day. Yeah. 16 hours of active war frenzy participating on open field. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about 20 hours a day of being on a field, but not fighting, let's say, 4 hours on it. There's a difference. Right? It's a difference. I bet you guys, I bet you, we can go check right now my KVK2 Zone 6 fighting, and we could see that I would at least, in the first day of streaming, I would at least get like probably 1 or 2 hours off from War Frenzy time. I bet you. Kannst du mal kurz deinen Kingdom-Account zeigen? Hab dich gerade erst gefunden. Klar. Kann ich machen. So, my account, I'm currently at 67.5 million. I got 431 million key points for those who are new here. We had no KVK1 fighting, and KVK2, it was a Zone 6 fighting basically with 2 days of fighting, and after that, like a little banding around, but that's it. That's how I got my key points. Ooh. Okay, guys, look. My equipment changed from C to B. That's crazy. Okay, interesting. I have almost 900k dads. Yeah. You know why we changed from C to B? Simply because of this. I did this. No change here. No change here. And I did this. I did everything except the turn and I. So you see, I crafted like a good amount, which changed my tier from C to B on equipment in the kingdom. Interesting. Interesting. And then the kingdom is looking like this. If you cut it like by 8 hours and 4 hours of break, when play another 8 hours, it's like you only had a 4 hours downtime. Yeah. Most breaks you can just run rallies and go. Technically you can still playing 24 hours. Wait, didn't they said you can just join rallies but no garrisons? I'm still using IP to ban piloted. I still think using IP to ban piloted account is so much more effective. But then they killed half of their player base. Banning IP isn't legal everywhere, yeah. Yeah, IP is like, it's not like people changing internet address and VPNs, and you know, it's pretty easy to get a new IP address. I think that would be really interesting. Scroll through the stream and look how long you have the War Frenzy icon. Yeah, we can do that. We can definitely check that out. Also, guys, I don't know what the heck happened, but look at this. I'm top 2 in Kenyan. And look at who joined, Warriors. The Kenyan tournament winner joined us. Also, like defense, for example here. I'll win a lot of my defenses right now. I won the last 3 defenses against Britbit, and then 13 hours ago she attacked me again, and that one I lost. And look at the thing. I think I lost this one because of my QSH being here on the bottom and didn't target the top marches here. So to prevent this, I switched my QSH with BQ. So that Aether there will be 4 marches against the top one here, and my QSH gonna be able to AoE damage them, or Britbit is doing like this, 2-1, and then my QSH still gonna be able to get the damage output out to 4 people. Yeah, my AC is expertise. I expertise them like a week ago or something. But yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on, but like I just at some point I just won defenses. I don't know. I just started to win defenses. It's crazy.
Mit den Levi's Baggy Fits 578 und Baggy Dead Barrel. Klicke jetzt aufs Banner und finde heraus, wie Baggy vibet. Mit Levi's. Locker, selbstbewusst, perfekt für jede Stimmung und Anlass. Baggy funktioniert immer. Hol dir den Style, der so vielseitig ist wie dein Sound. Shoppe jetzt unter levi.com oder in allen Levi Stores.
Unglaublich. Mit Lieferando bekommst du jetzt bei McDonald's 2 Big Mac zum Preis von einem. Unglaublich.
Okay, that should be enough to kill that level 30, hopefully.
Gültig bis 2.
People don't care about pilots, they log pilot account spends more, they only try to balance it because KVKs are ending faster, because heavy pilots to kingdoms without downtime and zone fights fast. And zone fights fast. Yeah. I mean, they also see obviously the feedback on that, right? That people don't like it and that they probably might quitting. So. But with level 30 is fucking crazy. But yeah, we can definitely check out the Zone 6 fighting on my channel. And we can see how it went. Let's see where the heck is. Where is the fighting? Here. Alright. That's the first fighting stream here. Holy shit, this level 30 is killing it. Okay, but I should win this. Yeah. I should win this. Alright guys, let's see. Let's have a look. So the fighting. So gotta see. So the first few hours where this was nothing going on. 1.5 hours in is okay. 1.5 hours in is at the pass from Bern. Let's go back. Let's speed things up here. Oh my god, my beloved Fatmos. Look at him. Alright, so this was the first encounter here, right? The first fighting. So War Frenzy going on at 1.9 or 1.8 or whatever it was. So now it's obviously fighting, blah blah blah, wait. And now boom. He's standing. And the War Frenzy time is going down. But I think I just went go ahead overtime and attacked someone coming out. So technically, if I would have not did it, right? Trying to keep hitting someone. You see, I'm not fighting. Look at this. For 4 minutes already, I'm not fighting. 4 minutes, I'm already not fighting. And just, okay, never mind. Someone attacked me now, I think. Or whatever. I don't know what the heck this was, but... you saw 4 minutes not fighting, no interaction, no fighting symbol, right? Then I don't know what the heck, there was a fighting symbol going on, but there was no wet screen, so I'm not sure what this was. Right? This I would have not needed to do. Right? I would have not needed to fight here. I did it because I wanted to. So technically, I could have get off Frenzy here if I would have not stepped forward and fight. Right? Can you see my mouse, by the way? Yeah. Okay. Right? But Frenzy still counts on the next 50 minutes. Right, that's what I say. For example, I could have not fought here, and my War Frenzy could have gone down. That's what I mean. Like, it could have gone away. And then whenever they would push again out of the pass, then I would have activated War Frenzy again, you know? This is how I could have played with the War Frenzy limitation, right? There's no need to hit here the people, right? First of all, you're trading probably better because of the AE damage, and you're not getting your skill damage out. And second of all, you might just end up being swarmed down because of people jumping out of the pass. But there's no real, you know. I want a 5-minute War Frenzy duration. Yeah. That would be good too, maybe. I don't know. It would definitely help with a new limitation if you would reduce the War Frenzy. Because you see, like, I was standing still for 4 minutes, didn't do anything, and now imagine you have 50 minutes CUDA. Yeah. See, again, how long I still stay, right? Alright, let's give up a little bit more here. Shorter War Frenzy will make it... Yeah, true. That's the other point, right? It's harder than to 0 people. Okay, now we have active fighting going on here, right? Let's see. 20 minutes active fighting here. Let's jump to the 3-hour mark. It's still active fighting, right? We have ready garrison going on. Okay, let's skip all the way to 6 hours. Let's see, 6-hour mark. See? At 6 hours, wait, hold on. 6 hours, I have no War Frenzy. What happened here? Look. Look at this. No War Frenzy. 5-hour mark. Let's see, 5-hour mark. I was gone away. Four hours. That was the time when I got a call. True, I remember that. Okay, here was War Frenzy going on. Let's see. 420. War Frenzy going on. But I didn't fought anymore actively here. Right? 430. 430, War Frenzy is gone. Let's skip 10 minutes. Oh shit, cannot see. Okay, but I didn't do anything here. Right, see, half an hour gone. One hour gone of no fighting. See, where is it already? I found already 1 hour of not fighting in that war time period where I was online and, you know, was available for it. 6 hours. No War Frenzy. That's already 2-hour mark. 7 hours. No War Frenzy. Currently. Let's check 6:30 minutes. No War Frenzy. 6:15. No War Frenzy. Right? You see how much time was going on where was no active fighting, where you could have gotten a War Frenzy? Right? Sure, people jumping out of cities and stuff like that, but I'm counting active open field fighting. This is what I'm talking about. And people most likely will not do with the War Frenzy limitation. They will not do stuff like that. They will not jump out of their cities unless they really have no time later on, right? But in a situation like this, right, where you have already going on, where you have the open field control, and where people just jump out of the cities, with a War Frenzy limitation, people are gonna be more safe about their stuff with jumping around and stuff like that. It's gonna be a whole different gameplay. But you see, like, I already had now 2 hours of non-fighting. Half an hour gone, still no war. Wait. I mean, sure, I was also, at that time, I was, like, getting a call, which was important, so, but, You know, I could also just stand here and not do anything, technically. Right? Because you have stuff going on, right? For example, for me in that stream, I had a phone call going on, which I had to answer, right? I cannot just like, yeah, but imagine, I cannot talk with you right now because I'm fighting in a game. You know, like, that's not working the way it is, right? Or like, look at BB. Look at this side. Nothing fucking going on. You see this? Nothing going on over here. It is empty. It's dead. It's nothing going on. Look at this, right? And this is how it's gonna be like when you have an up and down time. This is how it's gonna be. If you have an up and down time, you're not gonna end up with 16 hours straight up open field fighting, which means you can play your 20 hours a day of fighting on the field. You know? So I think some people seeing it too negative because we need to look on the actual point of how it used to be with an up and down time. With an up and down time, you don't have fucking 20 hours a day straight up open field fighting. It is because of the pilots. That's the only reason why it's going on like this. It's not because of people actively doing it. It's because of the pilots. You know? So... But yeah, you see, I was looking for, even in the beginning when I was actively fighting, we found already there 4 minutes of not participating in the fight, right? And that was the beginning. Look at this. This is 11 hours. And from this 11 hours, already 2 hours of it not active fighting. But still, you know, they're online and technically could fight. You know what I mean? Busy in work, so you call me later. Yeah, exactly. I think it's not gonna be as bad as people think it's gonna be. It's just gonna be more back to the way how it used to be a couple years ago with the up and down time, before all of that piloting became a thing. So, did I finish it? Yeah, I finished. Perfect. Okay, nice. Let's send out some gold gatherers here. Great. Like you can say, for example, for me fighting, right? I can just reference my fighting with the piloting situation going on. My fighting in zone 6 in KVK 2 was technically, I think, 21 or 22 hours streaming online. You know what I mean? Like I was streaming, I was online, I was available. But from that fighting, technically to 22 hours, I did maybe 15, 16 hours of active, like having war frenzy going on. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I don't see it as negative anyway, because I play Call of Dragons and Call of Dragons everything is stamina system, and stamina system is way worse than the war frenzy cooldown. Just saying. So I don't, and I come also from Rise of Kings with knowing the up and down time, not with the piloting situation going on. So for me personally, I don't bother a lot about that. I don't really care about that. It's for me, it's understandable why they're doing that, but I can also understand the other part saying, you know, it's not good for the game. So. It will save a lot of new players with toxic community and also see glad we made these changes. You won't have any problems with it anytime soon anyway, Beast. Well, yeah, for me, it's not going to be there for a while, so. Yeah, it's only an SOC, so. Yeah. but, bro, come on. KVK 24/7. I mean, you can be happy if you can fight for 6 hours on KVK free. So we're not talking about 24/7 in KVK free, though. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. My issue is really just I don't fucking know. Like this off time is so boring. Okay, 3 kings and ended in 4. It's. I hope it's not gonna be the case for me. Imagine you're spending 1.5 months after KVK 2 off season. Right? And when you're entering KVK 3 and your Kingsland, your active Kingsland participating fighting with Reddy's Garrison and open field fighting is 4 hours. I don't even want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. And my Kingsland fighting would not even last 6 hours. I don't want to think about that, guys. Leave me alone with that. So fucking stupid. We fought 6 hours, maybe another 3,000 wounds. That's so fucking stupid. I told you guys, if they're double runes, right? I told you, if my enemy is gonna be in the one runes, and our march is gonna be in the other one, I'm gonna send my fucking Q8 YG to the enemy over and let them swarm it. Easy. I just gonna let them swarm that shit. While I have my other march in the other rune. Easy. On the right side, we raise deck going into KVK4. Yeah, look at this. I'm already again up to 220 days universal speedups. I was down like 160 because I pushed T5. Look at this. I'm up again to 220 days of speedups. Yeah. I don't know. Resource, we're also looking pretty good, so. 327 would probably take 1v3 in KVK4. It would be awesome. Another kingdom winning against 3 camps. Well, I don't know if we can do that, to be honest, but I'm down for fighting like that. I don't really care. I would love to have just fighting going on anyway. At all. I just know I want to hit 1 billion key points in KVK3. Which, I mean, might be not possible, but we'll see. We'll see what our enemies who our enemies are, what their mentality is, and stuff like that. I would love to hit 1 billion key points in KVK3. But we'll see. Most likely will not happen, unfortunately. Most likely it will not happen, which is pretty sad. Yeah, I know, Gameburger, I know. It's very sad, but what can I do? I just give it my best, you know, grinding and trying to get everything what I can do. The thing is, most likely. Well, I don't know about 80 main, but most likely I will be something around 75 main power before KPK3 hitting. I will be something around 75 main, probably. And I might be getting very close to VIP 17. I mean, I am already close. 212k left. 212k is, to be honest, not a lot. 212k is really not a lot. I mean, think about that. I have hit VIP 16 in April. 1 month into the playtime. And since April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So we have 6 months now, and in 6 months, I got 1.2 million points. Wait. Or was it, wait, is this 1 million points or 1.5 million points from VIP 16 to 17? No, wait. 2 million is like here. If this is like 212k, then 2 million is something like here. And then... Is it... What is it? It's 1 mil? Okay, wait, so I got... In 6 months, I got then 788,000 VIP points. So 6 months, 788,000 VIP points divided by 6. I got 131.3 period thousand VIP points on average per month. That sounds a lot. What? I got more than 130,000 on average per month on VIP points since I got VIP 16. That sounds disgusting a lot for what I did in terms of spending, because I didn't really spend that much. Crazy. Crazy. Alright, guys. I think we're gonna stop here today's stream. I just wanted to start the stream and talk about that, since it was such a, crazy topic about that. I watched Mafu, he only reached 1 billion K points in KBK4. He had around the same KP as you had now. Wait, but how much did he fought? That's the question, right? How much did he fought? But yeah, thanks everyone for joining the stream here today. Was a very, very nice talk with you all about the recent change, or like information or update, whatever you want to call about that, going on here. I will make a video about that, and I will also make a post about this in the Rise of Kingdom in-game suggestion on the Discord, and share the opinion what we talked about today. I think it might be pretty important to also not only talking about the update itself, but also mentioning how the leadership, for example, is reacting with the piloting situation, and how they abusing people to, threatening them and stuff like that. I think this is not being mentioned at all somewhere at some point from anyone. At least I didn't heard about that anyone mentioned that. So I will go ahead and do that. I don't know when exactly, because tomorrow it's a pretty busy day. I have Call of Things stuff going on. So probably not tomorrow, but on the weekend I would do it. And I don't know when I'm gonna do the next stream again. Gotta see. Wait, what is going on? What? There's no event going on here? Okay. Well, whatever. You will see when I'm gonna do the next stream. Thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for the support. Appreciate you all. It was a very, very nice talk with you all. And was very nice to see, you know, coming together, also having different opinions here on the stream, but it remained respectful and everyone shared their opinion. That's very, very important. I think that's really needed. And it's good to see, you know, that you all are open-minded to listen to others' opinions and give them your how's that word, like your in a respectful manner, your feedback towards the different opinion. Very, very nice to see. Very enjoyed it a lot. I will send you over to Ampo since he's currently still streaming. Let me send you over to him. No, not upload a video. I want to upload a video. Alright guys, we see us then in the next days. Bye bye. And make sure to stay healthy.